Morning. I sold all my XCN and XRP for this crypto. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name's Neil. As always, keeping technical analysis short and sweet, starting with Bitcoin. Phenomenal move off of this 108 as expected to get that support. And that was a push up nearly, $12,000 within a few days. Pretty astronomical for Bitcoin. And what we see here is we are holding above the previous high, and if we can get that close, we can expect a continuation similar to this for the next move upward. With this consolidation, there will be a lot of panic selling most likely with the other coins, but everything else is going to start to follow suit and start to pump. Keeping in mind Bitcoin is a little oversold right now. Volume is picking up, but this is on the daily. Let's zoom out. Weekly, still not completely oversold, but pretty strong candles on that. Going into 4 hour, building higher lows, everything's looking healthy. The CM guppy is something we want to keep in mind as we are holding above this green area, which is the 50% mark, and that is showing some pretty strong support, so we could start seeing it slowly push upwards before consolidation or potentially even a quick move. Moving over to Tornado Cash, if you have not entered this, the reference link is in the description below. If you use that reference link, you get 10 USDT for free. And I've been talking about Tornado for months now, and it's only gone up. So if you guys have missed the opportunity to enter, I'm telling you again, you're not too late. We had that push to $18 from our entry at $7.50. Pull back all the way to 10 or 11, right where the support is at, and then immediate bullish momentum pushing back up over the CM guppy. The consolidation here, we were expecting could potentially push down to around $12.86. However, that did not happen. We held our support and we pushed this downward trend line, breaking over it. This one bar right here for the daily is our indecision as we are testing this $15 mark and the CM guppy. And the CM guppy is starting to cause a lot of pressure, which means that Tornado Cash really has nowhere else to go but up. So if you have not entered in at 750, 10, 13, or even now, now is not a bad entry point. The 200 EMA is coming up nicely. It's keeping it real close. Could we see a little bit more retracement? Yes, but not nearly anything that would make you lose your bag. Everything is looking extremely bullish for Tornado Cash, as I've explained for how many months? Since May, June, July, August, September, half a year. I've been telling you guys for half a year to invest into Tornado Cash. And if you have not, I can only lead you to the water. I can't force you to drink it. But if you do decide to drink it, definitely use that reference link for MEXC, and I always recommend using a VPN if you're in America, as like 98% of the viewers are in America, but VPN just helps you have another layer of protection. $14.92. I assume tomorrow or within the next couple of days I will be trying to promote it here at $23, as this is not the bottom. And in a couple of days from there, potentially 27 and 39. And as from there, we have a long way to go to hit the top. So there's a long way to go from where we are currently at. If you got 20 bucks and you maybe want to turn it into nearly half a grand or even $200, Tornado Cash is your best bet. Moving over to XCN and XRP. As for selling everything, no, of course not. That would be stupid. I am not going to sell everything, but I will give you insight on something that you could potentially do and that I'm considering doing myself. As I had talked about in a previous video, future trading, where you can use the leverage, is essentially gambling. Say you have $100 and you do 10x leverage. It's like you're playing with $1,000. Did I say 100? Yeah, $100 turning into 1,000. If it goes down a blip, you lose your $100. And if it goes up, you gain the amount that is if you had $1,000 invested into it. So I know Joe, we still have a few more meetings that you paid for. Once we break this red downward trend line, I'm anxious to talk to you about it as well. We are building support Not really much to go off of for XCN from the past couple of weeks, but we have constantly tested this 200 EMA. And when this gets broken, this is the range that we are dealing with, and it is very potent, really. This is all pressure being built up. When this gets over this is pressurized, but once we break that downward trend line and we hold above that 200 EMA, all that pressure is going to be released and launch this thing upwards. Could we see a push to the 0.01 or 0.02, which is the full one retracement, test that red line, and then take off? Yes, that's a possibility. Could we just bypass all that and massively take off? Yes, that's a possibility. Could we go down? Very less likely possibility that we're going to see a further retracement for XCN. So if you have not entered into XCN, anywhere in this area is a great time to do it. We could potentially see the all-time highs being 18 cents, which is 1,800% profit. If you guys missed this 2,000% pump, that is what a lot of people are waiting for. A lot of sell-off around 10 cents as explained in the previous video, even 5 cents, 7 cents. There's a lot of resistance on the way up, but it is very weak resistance. There's not a whole bunch of data to be backing it. Looking into the past, once we get above 5 cents right here, the only real resistance is this area, which is also the 618 at 6.5 cents, before a major rejection back down to 5, before a major pump to 7, before a rejection down to 6, before a pump up to 9, and then it consolidates and has a little bit more momentum up towards the 10 cent mark. Keeping in mind this chart does not have the all-time high of 18 cents, and we are buying at the absolute bottom, removing everything. This is a very healthy chart, even though it is underneath the 200 EMA. We've seen it be under the 200 EMA after having bullish momentum here, and then once we got over that, held it as support, and then a little bit of volume launched this thing 2,000%. That's essentially what we are looking for XCN. I am going to be bringing in XRP. For those of you who watch for XCN, definitely take a look at this, because this is where I am expecting to put a little bit of money just for fun, because I'm running out of money. If you guys want to donate, it's gladly appreciated. 10% goes to saving animals' lives here in Spain, as people would rather kill their animals than pay the $1,000 to fix them, which if they don't have $1,000 to fix themselves, they should be killing themselves. And the reason I have Sofia Varga up here, this is the $50 mark. I saw some news for XRP that has the potential to be hitting the $50 mark. Maybe it's FOMO, maybe it's clickbait, whatever it may be. This is Sofia Varga. This isn't her at her current age, but she is currently 51, I believe. And she says she will only date people who make as much money as her. So this is our goal. We got to get more money, obviously. Let's go back in time when XRP was a little bit cheaper. For example, here, we broke a downward trend line, a long consolidation period. People are freaking out. We busted underneath that 200 EMA and immediate support over that downward trend line. Zooming even further in, we see we had a push up, retracement, test that downward trend line with this one bar right here. And then with that test, we tested once more and then an immediate takeoff. Some people would be waiting to break this previous high. So say, for example, you have $100 in XRP. Personally, I've stacked a lot more. I'm not going to be selling everything in my XRP to be putting it into leverage trading. But say, for example, you had $100 and you put it in whenever you saw the break of the downward trend line and the close above this previous high. So we'd be right here. If you're just doing spot trading, that's 348% gains. Phenomenal. It's great. It's great before a little bit of consolidation, losing 100% if you're just holding. But with that being said, 347%, say you put in $100 as 100x leverage. If it goes down a bit, blip, you lose your $100. If it has the continuation upwards, it's like you're playing with $10,000 that you don't have, and you are going to gain a lot more money in the long run just from entering in at a pump. Could it retrace, snag your money, and continue? That's a possibility, because leverage is very scary. It's very dangerous. It's a great way to get liquidated, so definitely do not put your entire bag into a leverage trade, in my personal opinion, or futures trading. But when you start seeing that pump, snag $100, put a massive leverage on it, and ride the wave up. You may get scared at your first little consolidation, but if you hold through it, you could get another one, a little bit more consolidation. A lot of people getting scared here. Liquidations like no other before another pump up. 349% on $100 and then times 100. My God, like that's astronomical gains that could be potentially heading your way. Here we are, the previous all-time high being around $3.32. This high being around $3.62. If we get above 362 and say you slap $100 in there at a ridiculous leverage price and it goes up 50%, 50% times 100, you do the math, that is some exponential gains. Once we break this downward trend line, this doesn't really have anywhere else to go but up. So leverage trading is definitely an option, and it gives you the opportunity to potentially entice Sofia Vergara, whatever, Colombiana. Anyways, XRP looking very healthy, dollar cost average, this like no other. Anytime you make some money, toss it into XRP. If it goes down, toss it into XRP. If it goes up, toss it into XRP. None of this is financial advice, but if you missed the Bitcoin boom whenever it was back at $2, $100, XRP is your next opportunity. A lot of people say, man, I wish I would have held my Bitcoin back when it was 139, myself included. I had 13 Bitcoin at one time. I needed a car. I needed to pay rent. I wanted to do things while Bitcoin consolidated back around 3,500 from a pump to 17,000. Great exit strategy. The entering strategy, not so well, as it was a learning process. But $2.97 for XRP is astronomically undervalued, and it has a lot of upward momentum. I mean, just look at it. Look at that momentum. It's all the way up there. So keeping all that in mind, I know there's like maybe 1 or 2% of my viewers who are female. I apologize. I don't have any male interest on models or anything like that. But for the other 98%, it's a pretty good goal to acquire. And breaking a downward trend line, potentially breaking over this high and this high. If you throw that 100 in there with extreme leverage, you have the possibility to make some real potential gains, but never put leverage money in things you cannot afford to lose. The other day I was leverage trading, put in like $20 and made it into 120. Didn't take anything out. The next trade liquidated. That's just how it goes. Yeah, it was fun, learning process, but don't make your life savings a learning process. Definitely be smart about it. Stack your bags in spot and ride the wave up. And lastly, I'm going to throw in XLM because it's in cahoots with XRP, XCN, and HBAR, all that good stuff. Broke a downward wedge, held that support, trying to test above this previous high, and when we can get a close above that, XLM can take off just like XRP, holding above the 200 EMA, very healthy RSI, volumes picking up, everything's looking phenomenal for XLM as well. That's it for this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't. All references are in the description below. And if you want to donate, great. If you want to help save puppies, great. I'm here for you. And good luck. Have fun with it. I will see you on the next one. And if you don't watch my other videos, it's highly recommended. But give me some watch time hours. Good luck.